With everyone talking about AI platforms like OpenAI and MidJourney, why has none of them done any real marketing yet? Let's discuss. Welcome to the In a Nutshell podcast with myself, Andrew Miles Davis, and my co-host Chris Branch. This is the daily 10-minute podcast where we take out all of the techie talk around generative AI and focus on what the everyday person, content creator, and marketer wants to hear. Now, we've only got 10 minutes, so we can only focus on one subject. And today we're going to talk about why these big AI platforms like OpenAI, Runway, Pika Labs, MidJourney, why have they not done any real marketing yet? And what we mean by that is, why are they not going out there really pushing their product? Is it because people are talking about it anyway? Or is it because they're just focusing on the product rather than the marketing itself? Because everything's changing at such a rapid pace and they need to keep up. But why has no one really gone out there and started putting together ads or putting together like marketing campaigns? Some are, but not the big ones. So why do you think that is, Chris?
It seems that there's tons of reasons, and actually some of them are unique to these AI companies, and others are typical stuff that others have experienced in the past. But one of the most interesting ones in this case, especially on MidJourney, I can talk about anyway, is that the customers really were the marketers. It was all of the people using it and then uploading it to Instagram and saying made with MidJourney. Originally, that was the thing that really got them a lot of users. Now, the weird thing about MidJourney is they still have like alpha and beta launches of their new models, and they don't want to outgrow those, by introducing new users. Even they've stopped accessing free users now. It used to be, you could access this to free for a certain amount of generations and then you have to pay. But now they've had to get rid of that tier because they simply got too many users. They've outgrown Discord, which is the platform they use to access. So that's one of the other reasons, really, is that you don't want to grow too fast.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to grow too fast. And I think also it's, if you look at the social media platforms, like especially like if you look at from the early days to about a few years ago, from MySpace, Bebo, when Facebook came out, to Twitter, to Pinterest, to Instagram, even YouTube, none of them really did any advertising or marketing. It was almost like, going to what you said, if we can create a great product, people will talk about it, which essentially is a lot of to do with below the line marketing. Or if we can get people talking about it, they can do all of the work for us. It's almost like what happened with Google or even Amazon. They all kind of went down this route. They never started off with a big campaign and to say, hey, look at us. It almost went down the whole, let's just focus on creating a great product and let the people talk about it.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're sounding a lot like an engineer right now.
Yeah.
That's the engineer's dream. Is that like, we don't need marketers. Why do we need marketers? I'll just build the thing that everyone wants to buy. And, that is literally what they dream about.
Yeah.
Is if you're just product first, everyone else comes into line. But the thing is with these AI platforms is that they've seen an unprecedented growth, and I don't use that word lightly, because ChatGPT got to 1 billion users in less than 6 months. That's never before even been close to heard of.
5 days they got to like 100 million or something ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just like, it's ridiculous fast. Now imagine if they'd done marketing on top of that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure that their engineers were already like hating the fact at the growth rate that they got. And I'm sure that they were attacked a whole lot more by cyber people because of the known growth. And, all of these come as downsides to rapid growth, even though that's what everyone, aspires for. Actually, that can be as big a problem as no growth. Or a worse problem even.
Yeah, I think that's also why I said below the line advertising or marketing.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not necessarily we put billboards out and you can see it like visually in front of you.
Right.
It's more of those smaller conversations, the inbound marketing to you. It seems like that's the way. But you made a great point, because obviously they're in the growth stage and it's technology. You get too many people on it, it will crash. Most people will go once and try it. And then if it's crashing, it's not working, they'll forget about it because we get distracted with 50 other platforms that's trying to reach us.
Do you know what a lot of them did though? Is we've discussed this in the past as a marketing example. Can you remember sent with MailChimp and delivered by Dropbox?
Mm,
So that was the way that a lot of these platforms worked. Is if you used the free version, then you had a little watermark, made by Pika Labs or made by whoever it was. Now that in itself is free marketing
yeah.
because every time someone exports something and sends it to someone else, you're giving a watermark, which is the billboard. That's
Mm.
the digital billboard of the future, I guess.
But that there was, I think Facebook was the ones that really started that, because what I remember, and I remember this very, very well, because we was at MySpace, or I was at MySpace at the time, and then where we saw Facebook's growth was people, and I don't know if anyone remembers this. When you joined at Facebook, you could invite friends.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like, I've joined Facebook, you send an email to your email list, and it will
Yeah,
say,
yeah, yeah,
I've joined the site called Facebook. If you're interested, click here. And what would
yeah,
happen is people would click there, they go to the or they can create a profile, but they'll see you there,
yeah.
and that was key, because that means I see you. But also, if we, for example, my mail in
They
my
trust
email book, I see you, but then I also see five of my other friends that I also
you.
know,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be like makes me join, and that there I thought was genius, and
Yeah,
that changed a lot of it. Like when it comes to the growth, and that's how Dropbox grew. It's like you send it to your friend, and you get extra amount of space as well. It's that growth there, and that is marketing. It's just that going back to
yeah.
above the line, below the line. It's more the below the line type marketing. Very smart marketing. Also,
Yeah, everyone seems to have adopted, because Facebook were the biggest ones to do it. Like you said, they really exploded, far bigger than Instagram and
mm,
everything else at the time. They got to that billion user mark, which is the unicorn status of,
yeah,
of technologies. So because they did so much so well, everything like my Gusto box. If I introduce someone, is 70% off for the first 3 boxes,
mm,
and then I get a discount code for inviting a new user,
yeah,
and
yeah. Mm,
everything is like that now. Like it's genuinely interesting. I think the whole marketing sort of psychology behind it is that if you are a product advocate, then you're going to persuade someone, and like you said, if you entrust that person, then you don't need to have the brand in the middle.
mm,
Same sort of play as influencers. Like you don't need to market directly to your audience. You can go via an influencer that they trust and
yeah.
that they will buy from. So it's a similar sort of play with your products, and it's very clever.
Yeah, it's just that's why.
TikTok did this to another level, though. Did you see their version? Where every WhatsApp, they got the first WhatsApp integration where you could easily one-click send a TikTok video to someone on WhatsApp, but
Okay.
then it had the intro TikTok like logo, and then
Yeah,
it had the outro like five
yeah,
second viral thing that you knew you got sent a TikTok video even though
mm,
it was on WhatsApp, and they made that all free and accessible because they wanted to grow that TikTok and
mm.
go, what's this video that everyone's sharing with the like intro and outro? Look
Yeah,
at that.
yeah,
And it's a random little like musical note, but looks like a T, and
yeah.
you know,
Very smart,
very
very
smart.
subtle. But again, obviously, it's been very effective. So
Yeah.
it's worked. And I remember. So there was a site that you showed me once called Lensa. Remember Lensa, and that
Mhm.
was they spent a lot of money on advertising.
Yeah, now this is the thing is they were basically building on top of somebody else's platform. So they weren't, a stable diffusion or an OpenAI foundational model. That's why I think these guys don't market, is because they are foundational models. And just, talking about recent news, we may make a whole episode about this, but Adobe Premiere Pro announced Sora and Runway and all of these other third-party video plugins in the
Mm,
platform. And so they are admitting essentially that their value doesn't come through going to Sora or going to Runway. It comes through you using it wherever you feel like you want to use it. And
mm,
I feel like that's going to be the same sort of attitude that we see in AI platforms in general.
mm. So does this mean the role of marketers will change, or advertisers?
It may mean the way of them getting customers changes because they don't directly need them in their platform. Like they could essentially get 25 million Adobe customers just by integrating with their platform. So if they're product focused, then that's their play. They don't need to be marketing focused because the marketing and customers can take care of themselves. And
Mm,
that's a unique, rare opportunity. But yeah, on the other side, we'll talk about another episode maybe on all the actual platforms that are hyping up their AI integration and
Mhm.
all of this nonsense. And then mostly it's fake,
Yeah,
mostly it's not AI at all.
fake
And
news, fake news.
yeah, it's just fake news. So yeah,
Yeah. So, in a nutshell, why has no AI platform done a massive marketing push yet? It looks like they have, but not as we know it, the above the line shout, shout, shout. It's more of the product led affiliate marketing, stroke, influencer marketing, stroke, community marketing.
yeah,
Yeah, but seems to be product led um, as we're seeing it right now.
it's much more subtle.
Much more subtle. It might change, but I think that won't happen. Like what's happened in social media or e-commerce, like Amazon. I think that will happen like many, many years, or the way things are going at the moment might even be months later.